Hello there everyone and welcome back. That was a bit of a stomp fest I've had with my Imperial Navy fleet. I'm a little bit shocked, if not a little bit wanting, because I would have loved to have played with against all the other myriad factions we have to go up against. Ideally against something like Drukhari or the Eldari in general, since like I already hinted at, those would perhaps be the more difficult type of fleets to go up against, especially with the hollow field mitigating so much damage. But hell, we are seeing some prime results there, good god. Even that Adeptus Mechanicus match, it seems like I killed that cruiser incredibly quickly while I was just focusing all my attention on really dodging Nova Cannons to the best of my ability. So those buffs that they made to the Lances and Macro Cannons have certainly done some work, needless to say. But it's time to at least fool around with some other factions that I have in mind. I think I'm going to dive into the Space Marines this time around. And hell, I have been a little bit inspired to get rid of these 400s and maybe go with 4 torpedo strike cruisers, for I am biased towards my torpedoes and the versatility, never mind the extra potential durability of a 6 cruiser, might be warranted. And hell, it works well with what I have in mind with my poll that I have going now with which faction I should play as for Season 3, and one of which is the Asiani. So I am contemplating the idea of committing to at least 6 cruisers, and maybe a strike cruiser in this case, or at least a carrier strike cruiser rather, and experimenting with the idea of relying more on awareness and just very limited amount of detection, since that's kind of what I'm going to be stuck with if I do go with the Asiani route. Since the light cruisers and the frigates are a little bit lackluster in comparison to all the other factions, let alone their Corsair brethren, it's going to be tricky to get that vision without sacrificing a great deal of firepower in the process. So maybe in a future live stream, I'm going to experiment with that. But for now, I'm going to have me some fun with the Battlebarge. It's going to be fun to just swing this thing around and see how many ships we just murder with it. Since I talked about before, this has a ridiculous amount of boarding potential. If I use Honor the Chapter and I feel comfortable, I'm not going to have serious critical hit damage between the cooldown to get emergency repair backup. This thing could single-handedly destroy the crew of most cruisers. So it's going to be a good time. Maybe a little bit lacking in firepower compared to the 6 cruiser fleet. So I may have my work cut out for me. If we do somehow get a mirror match, I'm going to be relying exclusively on denying the critical hits, possibly with my Battlebarge. But we'll worry about that when we get there. For now, let's just have ourselves some fun rather. Okay, we're going to fight Adeptus Mechanicus again, the same opponent as before in my Imperial Navy match. So it's possible it's the same fleet as before with the Defiance to include to the roster. But I do have the mobility and definitely the greater speed to at least effectively dodge those Nova Cannons a little bit better. And I am bearing torpedoes, and never mind the fact their crew is exceptionally weak. The real trick is how to get in close with my Battlebarge, which I'm tempted to commit with the micro-warp jump to help in that matter. And Disruption Bomb, well, it kind of is questionable with Disruption Bomb, since after all we have the damn Disruption Overcharge, which would be a lot more impactful long term, potentially. And in theory, this opens up more room for other abilities for me. As for what abilities, it's hard to really say, if I were to be serious. So I may just go with Disruption Bomb since I'm limited on alternatives if I were to be serious, since Stasis Bomb, I would have to get in point blank range to kind of reliably have the Stasis Bomb keep them from running, but it's not useful at long distance. With that said, it's like I said, I have to be right on top of them for that Stasis Bomb to realistically stop them, especially from evading me at least. But once I'm in close and I can evade the Nova Cannons pretty damn well, I should be able to kill off the crew quickly. How to best go about this though, since they're likely going to have, well, from what we've seen before, the fleet's going to be split in half between these 2 components, so maybe my Battlebarge is alright being on the far right here. Hell, I almost wonder if I want to bait out a lot of Nova Cannons, as silly as that may sound, since Supercharged Void Shield would help in that matter, if only slightly. If they have Disruption Overcharge, this is going to be almost useless for the main battle itself, since I'm never going to recharge my shields. Hell, it's likely that they can lance it down at the same time. I'm gonna go with it. I'm curious to see if I can bait out some shots to give my strike cruisers a little more freedom.
Engines engaged.
It's not quite 6 cruisers, which would be a lot more, definitely a lot more efficient against this type of fleet, and I gotta keep in mind which one's the battleship. Well, hell, we already talked about it. With disruption overcharge, once the shields are down at least once, they are, in theory, never coming back up. I almost never need to prioritize the generator unless I'm worried about... Okay, well, we know where the flagship is theoretically at. One of those two, anyway. And I can use these gas clouds to good effect, but let me actually spread out 2 at the same time. And I don't think I need to boost. I'll just take my time with this, since there are so many gas clouds for me to actually take advantage of too. And we know they have a couple of Cobras with the Defiance. And I don't recall any fires being launched. And speaking of which, well, there's the fires now. And it looks like they upgrade to a Dictator, so maybe this is a 5 Nova Cannon fleet as opposed to the battleship. Well, if they have a battleship, then they... Oh, never mind, 2 Dictators this time. So I'm gonna argue there's no battleships for me to encounter. Which I'm kind of okay with. I just gotta make good use of my Thunderhawks or Stormhawks to help delay the point defense if I'm gonna fire any torpedoes, at least long-range torpedoes.
At your command.
And once I grab this objective, my opponent's gonna have to be forced to commit to coming after me.
At your command.
And actually, let me have one of these Novas ready. In fact, and you can just go with the Battlebarge. Might be a mistake to pair you 2 together, because I've had bad issues keeping track of cooldowns and combustion gauge with the frigate in the group. So I might regret this.
To where we are needed.
And again, I have micro warp jump, that'll help some. So if my opponent thinks, when my opponent's about to grab this objective, maybe I can give him a bit of a surprise. I like this idea.
Enemy in sight.
Now, can we actually hit that? Not really. But I would like to ram it.
We stand ready.
Let's just not get hit by... I got more speed than you, I'm not too afraid, but everything else sadly is getting shots on me.
Engines engaged. Where shall we strike?
Now, combustion gauge is still good,
Give us purpose.
and we're just gonna have to reconceal ourselves in a moment. And we're still getting shot at apparently, even though I'm getting no damn visuals, which is a little bit annoying, but
Full speed.
I can take this Nova Cannon shot really damn well. I still have shields after all, even if this were to hit, which it's not. Nah, it's just an eye on the Omni sign, nothing exciting there.
Halt advance.
Now, I want to catch them completely flat-footed here. The trick, though, would be to do the micro warp jump at a good time. And I am marked.
I am listening.
So I gotta time this properly. Actually,
We stand ready.
they're just turning around
Hold
to
course.
deal with our ship here.
Give us purpose.
This will take them a little bit of time to reposition, but I'm not watching for Nova Cannons too.
We stand
And it's a
ready.
good thing I did. This is maybe a little bit premature, but
First the enemy.
hell, I have supercharged void shields well. I could have baited that out some.
Repositioning. I am listening. To where we are needed. I am listening.
Especially since my heading wasn't all that great either.
Moving to position.
Okay, so it is the same fleet. They have a Dictator included in this.
Show us the enemy. Halt advance.
Alright,
Engines engaged.
so that helps some there.
I am listening. Halt advance.
Now,
Repositioning.
I am taking shots here, so let's make this count.
Where shall we
Shields are still up though.
That is impossible.
And boarding's pretty good on there, so let's keep killing off these ships quickly. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment, especially with my ship out of the way, but their bombers are not doing much there. I just gotta hit the flagship now. And your engines are gone. Perfect. So maybe we prioritize you in a moment.
You have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And how far away are you? I can refuel you in a moment.
Give us purpose. Moving to position.
Now we need a kill for this to matter.
All power to engines.
And with engines critically gone, that should be corrected shortly. Oh, you're about to lose your crew too, so that helps in that matter.
Engines engaged. Show us the enemy.
Now, I would love to just board this thing to death. So let's try and do that. Combustion gauge is about to come back up. We have drifting hulks. I repeat, we have drifting hulks. And you do have disruption overcharge, which thankfully did not do what was needed.
We stand ready.
The enemy has accumulated
Did the boring torpedoes really do nothing? That's a bit of a shame. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more.
Engines engaged.
And your engines are prioritized, so
That is impossible.
let's finish these off. And keep in mind, these things are probably exploding. I don't see the visuals. Oh, it's actually dead. Yeah, that's what I mean, damn it. I did not see the damn visuals, which is really damn irritating.
Full speed.
This could still be good for me,
Heavy damage registered.
but that would help with my decision some.
Our brothers have fallen.
And actually,
We stand ready.
you still have one ship left, so let's incapacitate the crew. That was infuriating.
That is impossible.
Ruined because of a lack of visuals. I kind of anticipated it, but didn't take it as seriously as it could have.
At your command.
And now you're actually mutinied, which is a bit... I kind of would like you to stay mutinied, so that way you don't self-destruct or get reactivated later on.
Hold course. It will be.
And you are getting bored. I don't know if I've launched torpedoes on you, but your crew is gone, right? No, apparently not.
To engines. Moving to position.
But
Enemy in
I'm not against boring torpedoes here.
Engines engaged.
Oh, you're gonna lightning strike me, huh?
Speed. Launch Thunderhawks.
Alright.
Reposition.
I am preparing for you then.
Engines engaged.
Since I have the point advantage, I just gotta wait for a brief period of time where I can regenerate my shields.
Halt advance.
Which might be in a moment or so.
Underway. Hold course. Moving to position.
I'm waiting for... Well, again, these ships could be exploding without my knowing.
Where shall we strike?
And that's what I hate most, the thought of.
Moving to position.
Since that did counteract my ability some, but
To where we are needed.
let's just destroy all your
The
weaponry.
enemy. All power to
And if I can ram you, that would be great, but
engines engaged. Initiate Thunderhawk bombardment.
nope, bombers aren't going to do anything, alas.
Halt advance.
But, again, the longer this drags out, then the more points I'm actually accumulating, so that's not terrible yet.
Moving to position.
And you are almost completely empty on weaponry. You're just likely gonna
Where we are needed.
and let me... Well, maybe I didn't need reload, but...
At your command. Halt advance.
Oh, my engines are gone at a bad time too, so this probably cost me...
Underway.
It was damn close too.
Hold course.
Just inconvenient timing on the engine critical hit.
Launch Thunderhawk.
That cost me a match, dang it. The mostly is self-destruction that I couldn't actually see cost me a match, which is a bit of a shame. Since that crippled 3 of my ships, I should have gone with my gut and suspected that too, especially with the ship flying away. I'm bitter. I am definitely bitter because of that, since that alone cost me. But I was still damn tense and it was looking promising. Just probably should not have wasted the boring torpedoes in retrospect and saved them for maybe the battleship. Okay, Void Weaver, and we're gonna have to see which variant of his Asiatic fleet we're gonna be going up against. Since this is a situation where I really would like to have all my strike cruisers just for the additional mobility, since the Battlebarge could be a burden, a bit of a hindrance some. And I do wonder if it's star cans, then they're just gonna, if they're las cans rather, they're just gonna permanently have my shields down. But supercharged void shield could be amazing for dealing with the pulsars and mitigating that critical hits. It's a question of which variant we're dealing with, and even then, supercharged void shield can be useful. It again comes down to what other secondary ability do I want to help with this matter. Okay, so already they're going to be salty about it. If I can get some good boards though, then I can... A single strike cruiser has a really good chance of getting at least a critical hit by doing the first third of their troop damage at least. It's just a question of what do I want to prioritize. I would argue the engines there some. But... since yeah, probably the engines to keep them from the convenience of torpedoes at least. If that's at all possible. Now the only thing I don't like is how spread out I'm going to be, dang it. This is not going to be the most convenient, but hey. I have at least an extra frigate to help with that sum. And maybe I could just focus on these 3 objectives. They're not going to have the best in gas clouds to hide behind. We'll see if I am able to get away with grabbing this objective though, with that said. And then otherwise, again, I'm suspecting my shields are never going to come back up, so I doubt a lot of these are going to be helpful for me. If I were to be serious. So, we're looking at fighters, so I'm well equipped to deal with this. 2 Phoenixes and 2 torpedo cruisers. It's just a question of which one's the Phoenixes and which one's the cruisers, so I can prioritize appropriately.
I am listening.
And then otherwise, we'll have the Battlebarge try and soak a lot of the initial brunt of the damage. With only 600 shields though, it's not... the shields are going to be pretty short-lived.
Underway.
I don't care really what he's referring to. He's just going to be salty and complain either way. So let's try and win without said fleet to make them really cry foul some.
I am listening.
It's going to be, that's going to be attention. We're going to see how it works out.
Show us the enemy.
And then otherwise, let's just get vision and prepare for some evasive maneuvers. I can. The fighters are easily going to deal with my torpedoes until I launch my own fighters, that is. And even then, they'll arguably be pretty short-lived. So we see where one of the Phoenixes are.
Underway.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So we got everything marked.
Show us the enemy.
I wish I kind of had supercharged void shields, because these are the no, these are the las cannons.
New vector acknowledged. Engines engaged. We stand ready.
So let's get these out of the way quickly. It's going to be tricky due to awkward placement, but hey.
Full speed.
I got one of these ships out, so now you got to make this count. Oh, my fighters are still there, that's why. Well, That is convenient so far, but I need a
Will
priority.
be destroyed. I am listening. Teleport attack successful.
You have
So,
seized a
let's
strategic
try deal with this other one. I thought I'd try boosting with you cursed thing.
Moving to
It's
position.
not terrible damage yet. We just gotta deal with the other one now, quickly.
Give us purpose. Hold course.
And ideally, ram the hell. God damn it. Is my group order really messing up on me? Aw. This is unfortunate. I did not want that group order,
I am listening.
because right now that really screwed me up.
Saboteurs and tech marines begin
Quite
ready.
amazingly at that.
Show us the enemy. To where we are needed.
Can we still make this work somehow, though? Probably not at this point. Due to the ink, and that was a bad supercharged forward shield too. But I did get the shields up, so
New vector acknowledged. Where shall we strike?
let's kill these.
We stand ready.
Let's try to anyway.
Underway.
Give us purpose.
I am listening. Repositioning.
Now,
Give us
that was not the
purpose.
button I want to hit at last. I wanted to do the honor the chapter,
Position.
which sadly is not working as I like just yet.
That is impossible.
But again, let's try. I should not abort that. It's going to mutiny out anyway, so that was a bit of a waste.
Where shall we strike? I am listening.
So your crew is pretty much dead. We just need to kill this one ship, but I'm group oriented again. Damn it, it's infuriating.
Engines engaged. Moving to position. Our wrath cannot be denied.
You have seized a strategic area. You have
Oh well.
accumulated 25
This is all about a victory there. I just got to make sure the damage can sticks.
Our wrath cannot be denied.
I was kind of not expecting to win that with how abysmal my control was, to be fair.
The enemy has
To be honest, a lot of the
accumulated 25%
complications was due
strategic
to
points.
my group order, which you kind of could see since all my ships were basically had a move order of sorts towards my battle barge. So again, I'm a little bit shocked I won that, if I were to be serious. But at the same time, we weren't dealing with a fleet dedicated entirely to torpedoes as well. So I may have gotten off easy there some. Okay, what is this? Tau Protector Fleet. So with the strike cruiser, or the battle barge, I am likely to take a lot of secret missile damage, but at the same time, if it can take the brunt of damage, especially with brace for impact and maybe the possibility of being able to shoot them down eventually, I might be in good shape here just because the boarding is going to be so damn impactful if the strike cruisers can get in close. It comes down to how effective this can be as a bait. Nonetheless, what is the best way to go about this? Since bombers and secret missiles are what I probably should be most afraid of, so I think I want the stasis bomb to kind of deny the fighters a little bit, or at least use them in a way that I can at least trap the fighters, if not the secret missiles themselves. Although, if I trap the secret missiles, that'll be short-lived, since then they're just going to chase after me afterwards, unless I can kill off the fighters. Which might be possible. What other upgrade do I want, with that said? I honestly don't know there, if I were to be serious. I'm going into this expecting the 6 protector type cruisers, and then and it comes down heavily to how effective I am after that. And apparently my control groups were completely messed up. Do I want reload? That might be better early on, at least for the battle barge, and then I'll have to keep in mind brace for impact afterwards. So it is, without a
Your
doubt,
command.
all the protectors. So I want to be able to get on top of them there. Maybe a deck might be better. Okay.
I am listening.
So you're launching everything immediately.
Underway.
And I wonder, I can have my... Oh, you're only launching a single fighter, so...
At your command.
The more I can shoot these down, the better. And they are going to have some frigates. Let's keep that in mind. 2 frigates if I'm remembering my count properly.
All power to engines.
And I'd rather just shoot these down with the frigates, ideally, since they're likely just going to get recalled
Hold course.
as soon as they're at risk of getting
The
caught
enemy
by
has
said
seized a strategic
fighters of
area.
my
You have
Thunderhawks,
seized
or at
a
least the
strategic
Battlebarge.
area.
So let's use these to their greatest
Where
strengths.
shall we strike?
I just wish I had more of them, let alone
Repositioning.
the light cruisers to go with
Show
it.
us the enemy.
Repositioning.
And maybe I should have launched those those fighters a little bit better.
Stand ready.
But killing these fighters off will help long term. I like to think anyway.
I am listening.
Okay, we are going to intercept them.
Engines engaged.
We're just not going to do a good job shooting them down quickly.
Where shall we strike?
Since I'm not going to try and grab points quickly here, I'm just going to play it slow and ideally burn out
Full speed.
their charges. Ideally.
We stand ready.
Okay, so you already... I wasn't listening for a mission dissipator, but
You have seized a strategic area.
can we hit... Nope, not quite hit it there, but that's fine. I just gotta watch for
Give us
the
purpose.
seeker missiles now.
We stand ready.
To where we are
And
needed.
then ideally... oh, they're about to get shot anyway. Maybe it's not as significant as I make it sound, but... I do have stasis bomb at the
Where shall we
ready,
strike?
still to help with this.
Moving to position.
Moving to position.
All
And if
power
I
to
can kill this,
engines.
this helps me tremendously for the future.
Underway.
And it's the Castellan too.
We stand ready. At your command.
We
Now,
stand ready.
let's see where the seeker missiles are going.
Where shall we strike? To where we are needed.
I heard seeker missiles, but not quite.
I am listening.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
At your command.
Let's soak up this damage and prepare for this.
Show us the enemy.
Halt advance.
Because a lot of
Give us purpose.
everything's gonna get shot down really damn well. I gotta deny them their focus fire, because the critical hits really screw with me. It goes without saying.
Halt advance.
Engines engaged.
Now let's try and punish them for this. Try to anyway, that's the trick.
Moving to position.
Enemy in sight.
Now,
I am listening.
Repositioning. Enemy in sight.
I'm just barely
Shall
off.
we strike?
Try as I might.
Underway.
Now
Engines
let's
engaged.
give them something to worry about here.
Give us purpose.
This is not what I want though.
Full speed.
Damn it, what? Damn it. Minimap, that's not what I want.
Where we are needed.
But let's see. Let's see, engines are both gone there again.
Hold
So
course.
too little too late, I suppose. But that is 2 of their torpedo charges as well.
Moving to position.
Can I do enough damage? Probably not.
We stand ready.
This is already looking a bit abysmal there.
Underway.
And that was the wrong button too, damn it.
Show us the enemy.
Boarding course.
And I probably should have launched that sooner. But you're all but dead.
Stand ready.
Underway.
I would have... Actually, you can board. You're going to lose your crew in a moment.
At your command.
So I'm okay with this.
I'm listening.
I just got your group ordering again, dang it. I do not like that one bit.
Firing.
To where we are needed.
And your engines are gone. Perfect.
Our brothers have fallen.
Well, they were gone, but now not so much anymore.
Engines engaged.
And those are dumbfire torpedoes. Not, I'm all sorts of messing up on control there because boarding torpedoes would have been amazing in this regard.
Show us the enemy.
Kill off the crew,
Where
ideally.
shall we strike?
This is all sorts of a mess.
Hold course.
But the Colexis Assassin's doing his thing here.
Strike.
You are mutinied. You're actually dead.
Have accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And can I do anything else? Not likely.
That's the enemy.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Now we'll keep tabs on you.
That is impossible.
And ideally get this out of here and clean up the rest of these.
Prepare for impact.
Since fighters are distracting them, that's good. We got a bunch of Hawks and they don't have lightning strike as an easy way to deal with this.
Show us the enemy.
Now, just gotta continue killing off the crew effectively.
To where we are needed.
Keep an eye on my boarding potential too,
I am listening.
because this Battlebarge could take a lot
Rock cannot
of
be
damage still.
Engines engaged.
I burnt all my combustion gauge though, so let's keep that in mind.
We stand ready. Hold course.
Your engines are gone, you're all sorts of screwed. They still have secret missiles last, so this is still gonna hurt.
Underway. Holding fire.
And
Boarding success.
I am gonna lightning strike in a moment, and that will
Enemy in
mutiny our one friend here.
At your command. Where shall we strike? Repositioning.
15 seconds till my recharge, and I will have my shields up as well.
Moving to position.
Oh, and they have a second Castellan as well, so I gotta keep that in mind. So everything's gonna regenerate. I'm not gonna get any more permanent critical hits as a result of this.
Hold course. New vector acknowledged.
Now, what can I do? Not a whole lot, but try and ram them some more.
Engines engaged.
And actually, let's get this to kill our cursed frigate as well.
We are needed.
Ah, dang it! I should have launched fighters.
The enemy.
That would have helped as well. Actually, I didn't have fighters. Who am I kidding?
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
Hold course.
Yes, hit yourself with your own damn secret missiles, please. I would welcome that.
Obliterate that target. Underway.
But I'm not going to have anything to recharge in time there, alas, so they are just barely going to survive with a single ship.
We stand ready.
Because I couldn't fire my own boring torpedoes, alas.
50% of strategic points.
So this is just barely a loss.
Hold advance.
Now I would like to kill off this crew, which I'm not going to get.
Command. Show us the enemy.
Redirecting.
Yeah, because in all honesty, the best way to kind of win this is to force mutinies on them too. Especially with the flagship if I'd done that faster.
Engines engaged.
So it's close, but not enough. I just couldn't get the one crew damage I would have loved on this thing too.
The enemy has accumulated 75% of strategic
But a little bit
points.
better control and micromanagement would have helped a ton there. And hell, the stasis bomb helped a little bit of warding off the first secret missile salvo, which I can definitely feel good about, to an extent. I just have to keep in mind how many charges they have left, because mitigating a lot of that pays off nicely. But in all honesty, was Disruption Bomb really useful there? I could have done better with certain upgrades. Again, my options are incredibly limited. Supercharged Void Shield, maybe. That might have been the smart choice, because again, Disruption overcharge, once their shields are down and I keep hitting them, the technically is never coming back up. Even though that was an awkward start for me in that engagement. Okay, sadly I'm not going to get my rematch. Try as I might, but Chaos is still going to be fun. Especially since it looks like just a generic type of chaos faction too, so I could kind of rest easy knowing we're not having to deal with Slanesh or Khorne or anything like that. It would seem, at least. So this would be a good time for boarding once I get on top of them, and I am inclined to use Micro Warp Jump to help in that matter. And then, with that all said, the key thing to note is to make sure my strike cruisers are not easily focused down, because as you've seen there, I suffer critical hits incredibly quickly, especially once the shields are down, so this goes a lot to what I'm saying about using my Battlebarge to kind of soak a lot of the damage ideally, and keeping myself close to the Battlebarge for the same reason. For Chaos, especially with the land-centric type of fleet, it is very much capable of doing the same things as what we've seen there already with the Tau. I just wish I had managed that a tiny bit better and was a little more proactive on protecting my strike cruisers too. That would definitely make a big difference, because each one of these theoretically can deal with a protector on their own, especially if I'm willing to burn Honor the Chapter, which probably was a mistake to use there, because broadside and boarding torpedoes are a lot more impactful there. I shouldn't need to rely on Honor the Chapter, aside from maybe my battleship.
Moving to position.
Now, what are we looking at here? Just 4 ships, so was it the 2 battleships, 2 grand cruisers, maybe? It would seem, at least.
Give us purpose.
And then, otherwise, well, not really much else to say. Let's just launch fighters and see for ourselves. That might help with the equation. Also, I never did change my skills, did I? Or upgrades, no less. But I think I'm fine with the upgrades as they currently are. I will have to make I should have to make a decision to maybe prioritize the deck on one of those ships too, because once that's permanently gone, especially if they don't have like a positive bravery modifier, they are immediately going to have a mutiny on the ship once the deck's gone. And that is, as I'm rapidly starting to find out, going to be a lot more useful in getting rid of ships if they're nowhere near a rally, or at least a flagship for a rally. Okay. So we got a Stig. And what do we have here? All I know is that's a frigate of some kind, it looks like.
I am listening.
And then I did already recall them, so
Show us
the frigate's job will be to identify these, and then we'll play from there. And again, I should use the Battlebarge to kind of take the brunt of the damage.
Where shall we strike?
Ideally, because we've seen how fragile these strike cruisers can be repeatedly. In fact, especially when I was facing off against them with my Imperial Navy matches. We crippled 2 of their torpedo salvos before the actual battle itself. So it goes without saying that getting critical hits is a big deal.
At your command.
And I don't mind these being revealed so much.
Enemy in sight.
The enemy
Although I
is
wasn't
seized
paying
a
the best
strategic
attention
area.
here, but 3 Grand Cruisers, these are also these are all the torpedo variants.
We stand ready. Engines engaged.
Alright.
I am listening.
And actually, get everything moving, damn it. I'm doing a bad job controlling you. I'm getting myself sidetracked some.
Enemy in sight.
But this isn't too terrifying a force,
Give us purpose.
because you're making my job really damn easy here.
You have seized a strategic
Because I got
area.
more objectives to grab here than you could possibly get in that corner of the map.
Holding fire. To where we are needed.
I'll let them have that point for all I care.
I am listening.
I don't think I care that much.
Give us purpose.
In fact, let's start harassing with our one little frigate here they're so inclined to ignore.
Where shall we strike?
You have seized a strategic area.
And actually, can we trap these
I am
two?
listening.
A little ridiculous, a stasis bomb, but
Hold course.
if they want to make it easy for me, I'll oblige them.
strike?
Yeah, not gonna happen there.
Where shall we strike?
But we are gonna get a lightning strike there for good measure. Not quite enough to kill off.
Show us the enemy. Holding fire.
The enemy is seizing one of your
And I have a lot of
strategic
firepower.
areas.
Let's just grab these objectives. That'll help a ton there. Especially with this wreckage, come to think of it.
We stand ready.
I'm going to take a lot of hits, but we have an asteroid belt now. So let's take advantage of that.
Give us purpose.
And I don't see a frigates at all.
We stand ready.
Hold course.
Grab the points, conceal yourself. I did scanner pulse, so we know there's no frigate around. Just yet.
Repositioning.
Show us the enemy.
And they do have a Stig, so it's not really worth actually. I can launch fighters and boring torpedoes.
I am listening.
Halt advance.
Now just conceal yourself and we're gold. Damn it.
Engines
So much for my strategy on that front. To try and grab the objective and doing a horrible job of grabbing it. But I have boring torpedoes. Let's fire ourselves some free torpedoes, shall we?
I am listening.
Give us purpose.
And once, actually, I'll get everything in the asteroid belt. That'll help mitigate damage a lot. I didn't kill off one of their ships though, but I can at least grab this objective easily enough.
Hold course.
I am listening.
Yep, boring torpedoes hit,
Enemy in sight.
and we're gonna conceal ourselves in a moment.
Hold advance.
Where shall we
Well, this will
strike?
be amazing for me. Potentially.
Halt advance.
Moving to position.
And you conveniently have a beacon against.
I am listening. Our wrath cannot be denied. Show us the enemy.
Okay, where was I there? Just got quickly distracted and bad time to lose torpedoes. But let's just ram. Kill this thing immediately.
Show us the enemy.
Needless to say, that was a good start.
Main batteries, fire!
Oh. Can I turn out of the way? Yep. Flagship is gone. You are now mutinied. So I gotta keep that in mind, that one little benefit.
Successful teleport strike.
And just bored you to hell. Although, did I? Oh, you didn't quite lose as much crew as I thought. Since you were the one I fired boring torpedoes at earlier, after all.
Give us purpose.
Now, get some distance from me so I can actually shoot you with torpedoes, please.
We stand ready.
That's kind of what I would like.
New vector acknowledged.
Now you're still too damn close. You're making this really awkward for me.
We stand ready.
Because I don't really want to fire boring torpedoes, I just want to shoot you with regular torpedoes. Thank you.
We stand ready.
Not cool. Well, it was a good hit, but actually it was a solid hit. I'm completely wrong in that matter.
To where we are needed.
And actually, let me just reload too, for good measure.
Give us purpose.
That was panic torpedoes, but oh, they still hit. They didn't quite do nearly the damage necessary though, and I guess that's brace for impact for you.
Underway.
But good God, the critical hits that you did on the Battlebarge, I'm a little bit shocked.
I am listening.
And you're about to be there. Look, we're done. This match is over. There's a light cruiser, but safe to say we don't care about that right now.
Rearm. Show us the enemy.
Just gotta get ready to finish this off quickly.
Hold course.
We stand ready.
And we're gonna kill this the only way I know how, which is... Well, actually, that's not true. I could bore it to death. I have multiple ways to kill it off.
Purpose.
But I'd rather just destroy it right now.
Engaged.
And I should be trying to ram it too, with that said.
Full speed.
There. Now I feel better.
At your command.
And with 5 objectives, we are golden.
Percent of strategic points.
Well, that went incredibly well.
You have seized a strategic strategic
Still a little bit messing up on the controls a tiny bit, but what's warping away? Probably, oh, it's probably the Hellbringer, if I were to be honest. Because what else is there really left?
Advance.
There we go.
You have accumulated 75% of strategic
Well, that was
points.
brutal. We had some really close games there too, but I'm still bitter about the Adeptus Mechanicus one with that dang, was it? The explosion that I could have easily avoided, and it was a lower ranked player. So now I feel bad again. Even more so now.